Hey guys, just a quick news video. This went live yesterday, and I almost didn't notice. I would have missed it if it weren't for the fact that the Star Trek Online wiki shared the patch notes on Blue Sky. But the part 2 of this year's event campaign has gone live as of yesterday on PC. It's going to be Hold the Line at Pavo, so it's going to be another Pavo event. So you're going to be doing Pavo Ascension or Peril over Pavo in order to earn progress toward this year's event campaign, as well as earn the new console for this reward, which is going to be the Reflective Crystalline Shielding console. Completion of this event will grant you this universal console featuring multiple powerful passives that can help you hold your ground during a fight. Upon entering combat, your ship's defenses start crystallizing, granting you temporary hull, or rather temporary HP, which that is hull, every few seconds, alongside increased energy damage resistance and a chance to reflect any energy damage directed at you. Sounds kind of interesting, but as usual with these blogs, they didn't include any actual useful information that would be in the tooltip. However, since the event is live, we can go look at it right now in the reward preview. So, Reflective Crystalline Shielding, it's an all-passive console apparently, so that means there's no click ability. You just put it in a universal console slot, and it's gonna just do its thing automatically when you enter combat. It is capable of plus 34.2 energy damage resistance rating, which isn't a lot. Gain 8,225 temporary hull every 5 seconds while in combat, which does not stack, so you're only gonna have that on you for every 5 seconds. And you get a 10% chance to reflect 10% of incoming energy weapon damage back to your target. Reflecting damage scales with your aux power, and has 50% hull penetration, and it cannot critically hit. So it sounds like a kind of interesting tanking console. The temporary hull is going to be the most useful there for the tanking. The reflecting energy weapon damage back at your target could be useful for attracting threat, which is always good for a tank as well. So this could be kind of interesting. It's not going to be anything super amazing though. Actually, the temporary hull is actually fairly similar to a console that already exists called Hull Image Refractors. Yeah, here we go. Hull Image Refractors, incoming heals exceeding max hull instead apply as temporary hull for 30 seconds. Okay, so not quite the same, but this is another good source of temporary hull, possibly even better, honestly, because this one doesn't have like a limit as to like how much there is, but again, that would have to be tested to compare the two, so I'm not really sure. Plus, this one also gives plus 20% all damage as a passive, but I imagine it's going to be like a one or the other kind of thing, because the other one says the temporary hull doesn't stack. It does kind of imply that it doesn't stack with itself, but if it doesn't stack with itself, it probably means it doesn't stack with any other sources of temporary hull, but again, that's something that would have to be tested. And frankly, I don't intend to buy this out, so I'm going to have to wait another 13 days in order to find out. Another thing I noticed while going into this, we've got a tech upgrade weekend coming soon. So any upgrade points that you apply to a piece of gear, those are going to be increased by 100%. So this is going to be a good time to upgrade any gear that you have on any builds. So if you've got like a decent stockpile of those Phoenix Tech upgrades, or if you have a lot of dilithium and blow a lot of that on your Phoenix Tech upgrades, this weekend is going to be a good time to try to get some of that gear up to Mark 15 or even to Epic if you're trying to get that high up. I almost forgot to go over patch notes. Those went live yesterday too, along with the part 2 of the event campaign. That was part of the patch notes. But some other things went live, as well as they've enabled use for the 2271 security helmet from the 15th anniversary bundle bonus costume thing that was exclusive to the bundle. That helmet can now be used on Benzite, Bolian, and Tellarite characters. Apparently it couldn't before. The Scatterpack shuttles now level correctly. Apparently they weren't doing that. I don't know if that means that they are scaling with other damage buffs, or if that just means that they're leveling to your level correctly. Again, testing will have to be done. The shuttle Type 4's description has been updated, which I'm hoping that means the tooltips on the higher level versions of them, which were not updating correctly for the higher levels. They've also made some customization fixes for the Shangri-La, and they've fixed the nacelle warp trails for both the Plymouth and the Pioneer 2, apparently, which were apparently just the standard TOS white, like on the original, or like any other TOS ship, whereas they should have been blue, the standard Federation blue for the Plymouth and Pioneer. So they fixed that, and they've also fixed the warp trails on the Constitution, which were also not appearing correctly. So those have both been fixed. But yeah, part 2 of the event campaign. It's live now. It went live on the 18th. Literally when it had like no advance notice. It literally just like, okay, here's the announcement. It's live right now. So that's always great. I love it when they do that. But yeah, March 18th, and is going to be running for 3 weeks. So that should be finishing up on, I believe that's the 8th. Yeah, finishing on March 8th. Meanwhile, this is expected to appear on Xbox and PlayStation starting on April 29th. Speaking of Xbox and PlayStation, there's been a lot of question of where the heck is the Klingon recruitment event for console? Because PC, we got that at the beginning of the year, but we're like halfway through March already, and there has been no sign or any word of the KDF recruitment event being activated again for console players, which is weird because, like I said, we're already into the middle of March. I know their schedule is always a bit behind PC, but this is getting kind of ridiculous. Finally, the Stowwiki put out a inquiry to Bordicus and Counselor Suna here on Blue Sky, and Suna actually did respond to this, saying that the Klingon recruitment event should be active on the 25th, which I'm assuming March 25th. So, yeah, the next week, guys, the KDF recruitment event should be returning to Xbox and PlayStation, according to Counselor Suna here. Oh, Counselor Suna is the new community manager for Star Trek Online under Deca Games, in case any of you did not know that. But yeah, weird way to announce the KDF recruitment event for console. This is like I said, we've been seeing this a lot, lately. They've been announcing things like literally the day of them going live, and it's just to me, it's making people anxious. We Star Trek Online has a established routine here, and when these things aren't announced within a certain time period, people are like, is this happening? What's happening? Is it not happening this year? What's going on? It's just making everyone a little on edge. And so I don't like this this method of announcing things the day of. It's just so, I know I've said it before, and I don't expect my word to change anything about that, but I don't like it, Deca. Before we wrap up, I know there's been a certain ship that has accidentally leaked. I'm not going to be talking about that in this video. I'm not going to cover that at all until there's been any sort of official announcement. Because the thing with leaks is that they're not intentional. So any information around them is subject to change. So I'm not going to be diving into that until we have any sort of official announcement. So stay tuned for that. Hopefully that'll be sometime soon-ish. But yeah, in the meantime, thank you for watching. Be sure to like, comment, subscribe, hit that bell for notifications. If you'd like to further support the channel, do all the usual outro stuff. Find the affiliate links down below, find the merch store down below. If you're ever shopping on the Epic Game Store, be sure to use my content creator code STU1701. These things really do help me out, and I really do appreciate it. Either way, though, thank you so much for watching. My name's Stu, and I will see you guys next time.